Welcome to the Harmony of the Seas in May of 2022. Hey everyone, I'm Patrick from Oakland Travel. It's the last day of the cruise, and it's in the afternoon, kind of scouting around for a place to set up the laptop, do a little live stream. And this was back during the pandemic. Ooh, interesting time back then. It was kind of right in the peak of the cruise restart. The cruises really started sort of at the end of 2021, and by the time you get to this point, which was May of 2022, they were really starting to kind of turn that corner. But, you know, you still had instances where you had to deal with like the masks and the protocols and the testing and things like that. And if you remember back to the COVID period back then, one of the things that periodically would come up was the social distancing. And there were definitely some instances on this cruise, especially when it came to the pools, where everybody was right on top of each other and there was no social distancing going on. Now, it's outdoors, so, you know, it was all questionable, I think, from the beginning as to how effective that was. But this time period, oh boy, this was definitely very interesting in terms of if you're a long-time cruiser and you remember how everything was before the cruise, and then you remember and you attempted to cruise during the pandemic, because we certainly tried. I remember 2020 very, very well, and nobody knew how long everything was going to be shut down. And cruises that were scheduled to happen in the spring of 2020 were initially canceled or pushed back or delayed or whatever, you know, because they're, oh, you know, we'll be back up and running soon, you know, a few weeks, couple months or whatever. And they would keep pushing them farther and farther back into 2020, and it was a mess. But yeah, this was this cruise here on the Harmony. Around this time period was when everything started to kind of turn the corner. You could pretty much walk around the ship both inside and outside without really having to wear a mask everywhere and all that. So when I'm putting this video together, it's a full 2 years later in 2024, and thankfully everything is much, much closer to normal, if not pretty much back to normal. A couple of the things they instituted during the pandemic are still with us, but for the most part, everything is back to normal now, thankfully. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you can't really do anything up here. Yeah.